Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Weekly Rewind presented by Attractions Magazine. This installment is for November 24th, 2014. I'm your host, Nick Russo. Let's begin last Monday from our Twitter feed, which was November 17th. After talking to our good friend Stephen Miller, we gave you a look at some of the Disney Holidays pins that are available for purchase this year. Also on the 17th, Downtown Disney announced that live bands would start playing every Saturday down on the first floor of Splitsville, which is the Downtown Disney bowling alley. On to November 18th, we were on iDrive where we learned about a new 420-foot swing ride called the Star Flyer that will be coming to the newly named View at 360 complex next to the Orlando Eye. We were also in attendance at day one of the 2014 IAAPA Attractions Expo, where we brought you some very cool sights. For instance, this attraction right here that we're showing you is called Laser Fury 360, which is a laser tag on spinning bumper cars attraction. We also saw this kind of creepy clown doll or puppet created by VFX Studios. There was this full-sized Flappy Bird arcade game. And finally, on the first day, a Frozen-themed bounce house that was on display. Alright, on November 19th, it was day 2 of the IAAPA Expo, so we brought you even more cool, exciting things. We shared these unique Angry Bird Transformers mashup costumes that were being showcased. And this rather convenient-looking crate-making machine. Now, what we just showed was just a taste of what we reported from the IAAPA Expo, but be sure to check out our Twitter feed as well as last week's episode of the show right here on our YouTube channel for much more from the Expo. Now, finally, on November 19th, Tussauds Orlando on Twitter shared a photo of Ricky Martin at the unveiling of his wax figure, which will be on display in the museum next spring when it opens to the public. Alright, coming to November 20th, we learned that the new Clyde and Seymour Sea Lion show will be reopening at SeaWorld next spring, with the new theme and name of the show being Clyde and Seymour Sea Lion High. Also on the 20th, the Artigan Marketplace on Twitter shared a photo from their ribbon-cutting ceremony, which officially opened the shopping destination to the public. We attended Christmas at Gaylord Palms and gave you a look at the festivities that were happening there, such as the grand lights and decorations. Also, a special performance of the Nutcracker performed by the Orlando Ballet. A new for this year tubing experience that guests can take part in. And finally, the new ice bar presented by Johnny Appleseed that guests can experience and attend for an additional price. Alright, on to November 21st, we were in attendance at Destination D by D23, where guests were given these special magic bands. Also at the expo was a shop called Mickey's of Glendale, where Imagineering merchandise was available for purchase. Figurines from former Disney attractions were on display at the Archives exhibit within the expo. And finally on this day, Kelowna Patrick on Twitter shared a photo from Hot Butterbeer, which is now being served at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Coming to November 22nd, we were at Busch Gardens, Tampa, where the inaugural run for the Wildlife 5K was underway. And we gave you a few glimpses at what the runners were seeing on the course as they were cheered on by team members and characters alike. Finally, on the 22nd, BioReconstruct shared this photo with us from Downtown Disney of a Springs Bottling Company sign that had gone up over the former Mannequins nightclub at Pleasure Island. Alright, coming to our last day here, which was November 23rd. Appropriately on the 23rd, we were back at Destination D by D23, where we showed you some ride vehicles from former Disney rides that were being displayed in the presentation hall. There were ride vehicles from attractions including Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, the Magic Kingdom Skyway, and Snow White's Adventures. We also gave you a look at the Pleasure Island Rewind that took place at D23. And the event came to an end with a viewing of Wishes from the Magic Kingdom, of course. Alright everyone, that is going to do it for the Weekly Rewind for this week of November 24th, 2014. I'm your host, Nick Russo, and until next time, Have fun, guys. Bye.